Hey, sorry it's coming out so late. I don't know what the fuck my problem has been lately. Just, the last few days, whenever I, get home, I'm super fatigued. This is the first time I've actually felt fatigued. I don't know why, I just feel all sleepy and weak and eventually just pass out and wake up 4 hours later and I don't know what's going on. It sucks. But anyway, here we are. And this is the last part of our crossover conversation with Branden Fisher from Sac'em Up Sundays. And this is actually the first part, but I felt that the other stuff played better first, so I kind of shuffle things about somewhat. So that's why this is what it is. And I'm pretty sure I cut out anything super inflammatory, so should be alright. Yeah, I had a bunch of news stuff, but I did not get a chance to write notes on everything. Again, because I just got home and just blah, blah. So yeah. So let's see here. It looks like there may be a new X-Men series. This is just a rumor right now. I presume it's just a rumor because the merger isn't actually finalized yet. So, we'll see. But from what I read, there's some talk of an X-Men series being developed for Disney Plus, which is the streaming service which comes out sometime this year. I don't think I've seen an exact release date for that yet. But Dark Phoenix comes out June 7th. I'm still pretty excited for that. I don't know whether I'll actually get off my ass and see it in the theater, but we'll see. And Far From Home trailer released. I'm so excited for that. I can't wait. And yeah, this is something I noticed in the trailer, but in the article I read, they touted it as the first mention of Uncle Ben in the MCU. Yeah, it's luggage. I'm sure you saw it too. The suitcase that Peter Parker has a tag on it. It says BFP, which means at the very least Benjamin Parker. I don't know what the F is. Franklin, maybe. So, maybe Farnsworth. How great would that be? Benjamin Farnsworth Parker. That'd be fun for me. Disney is developing a live-action Hunchback of Notre Dame. So, I guess that's something the world needed. Although, with my appearance, I might have a job, so that would be fun for me. I guess. I don't know. Charlie Cox is thankful for all the fan support and the petition and all that. In an interview somewhere, he says specifically that he doesn't understand the legality of the situation. But he does appreciate that so many people enjoy this thing so much. And he himself has enjoyed doing it, so that was nice of him, albeit futile. So, yeah. I mean, who knows? Because from what I've been reading, I don't think Hulu is a part of this deal, but a separate deal occurring concurrently. I guess you could say that. So, maybe if Disney Plus does not kind of pick up the more, for lack of a better term, R-rated content, then who knows? Maybe Disney will use Hulu to produce new I guess Marvel Knights is probably a good way to describe that content, because Marvel Knights was a not a series, but a kind of banner, like fuck. I can't think of what I want to say. Yeah, I'm so sleepy. I feel like shit now, so. Yeah, it wasn't really like a separate entity from Marvel Comics, but rather kind of like how Vertigo is. Vertigo is a kind of subgroup within DC Comics. Marvel Knights was kind of the darker, more adult-oriented titles. So that's where Punisher was for a little while. Punisher was considered a Marvel Knight. And, yeah. Alright. Moving on. Some DC stuff. Aquaman has passed Man of Steel in domestic box office. I believe Man of Steel got $291 million, and Aquaman is getting closer to $300 million at the moment. And I still have not watched that, and I'm sorry. But I did finally watch Into the Spider-Verse, and goddamn, that movie lives up to the hype. It was fantastic. You should go and watch that, and then you will not only understand the character of Peter Parker and Spider-Man in general, but you might get to know me a little bit better. So, if that's something you are interested in, there's an option for you. But yeah, it was super great, and be sure to sit through all the credits, because there is a wonderful memoriam to Stan and Steve mid-credits, and then post-credits is just super fucking fun. So if you've watched all of the Spider-Man cartoons as I have, you will very much enjoy that credit scene at the end. Alright. And there's a fun little Star Wars Easter egg in Aquaman also. I guess they sampled the same sound effect used for the Millennium Falcon whenever the hyperdrive powers up and then powers down because it's damaged or sabotaged and such. They use that in Aquaman. I don't know specifically the context because, again, I haven't watched the movie yet. But from what I read, it takes place just after a scene with Aquaman and his half-brother, I want to say. Half-brother Orm. And there's a scene wherein the two, I guess, fight. What I read said a gladiatorial combat scene between Arthur Curry and Orm. So, if you didn't expect that to happen, I guess that was a spoiler. Well, I don't know why you would not expect that to happen, because that's kind of been the big thing between Aquaman and his half-brother Orm, is they're always fighting over shit. So, yeah. The New Gods film is going to focus on Mr. Miracle and Big Barda, who are two, I believe, of the more popular characters who came out of the New Gods series. They were, inhabitants of Apocalypse and ultimately escaped. That's pretty much all I know about them. So, that should be fun. Oh, fuck. I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm super fucking groggy from this nonsense that I've just been going through, and I don't know what the deal is, but it is pissing me off. So, I believe there's going to be a Netflix comedy series based on Trump's Space Force. And it looks like it is going to be, to some extent, probably created by, but I imagine he'll be doing some writing, Greg Daniels, who's the creator of the U.S. Office. And I mentioned that because this series is allegedly going to star Steve Carell. So, I didn't watch the trailer for it because I was at work when I was writing that particular note. But what I have seen is an image of Steve Carell in an astronaut flight suit. You know, just like the jumpsuit, not the big, bulky spacesuit. And there was some sort of a puppet. It looked like it may have been a lemur or a howler monkey. But yeah, that image alone just sold me on it, because fuck, that looks like it'll be fun. I'm not a huge fan of Steve Carell, because he's one of those guys, kind of like Will Ferrell, that I enjoy more dramatically than comedically. Because I didn't care for The Office. I sat through it because my ex, who at the time was not my ex, she was super into it. So I wound up watching more of it than I ever intended. And yeah, just didn't care for it much. So, but yeah, that Space Force series looks like it might be fun. You know, as long as there's a lot more with that puppet, that would make me happy. Okay, so real quick, I'm going to go over Wise Guys plugs. This weekend, the 18th through the 20th, Crystalia. And, 18th and 20th. 18th through the 20th, shit. Oh, fuck, all of the shows are sold out. Oh, well. So, if you don't already have tickets to that, never mind. Because, yeah, we went Sunday. Shit. Wait, no, I could not have gone to that one. And I'll explain why in a minute. Headlining Ogden is going to be Marcus and Guy. They'll be doing their comedy music, or music comedy. I forget how they identify that. But they're good guys. It'll be a lot of fun. And then Jordan Landing is going to be Miss Pat headlining. It'll be Friday and Saturday, 8 o'clock both nights. And $15 to get in the door there. And then, looks like Tuesday the 22nd, there's going to be another crowdsourced comedy show at Wise Guys Downtown. It'll be 7:30, $5 to get in the door there. And I should go to that because I missed last time and I feel bad. Okay, and then of course the open mic on Wednesday. Then it looks like one night only shows. Chingo Blingo at the Jordan Landing Wise Guys. The early show is sold out, but you can still get tickets to the 9:30 for $22. And Steve Byrne. Oh, sweet. There are still tickets available for Steve Byrne headlining Wise Guys Downtown. That'll be at 7 o'clock. $20 for the tickets there. And, shit. David Spade is headlining next week. Oh, that's sold out. Well, never mind that. But I was indeed far more interested in seeing Ben Bailey at Jordan Landing. Yeah, $20 for those tickets. So, yeah. I think I may go see Ben Bailey next Friday. See if I can get my brother and his wife to come too. because they too are fans of Ben Bailey. Comedy for a Cause. Okay, well, we can get to that later. Oh, hey, Fireside Mike. I have friends on that show, it looks like. Yeah, I know Robbie Brooks is on there with EK. Let's see. Yeah, it doesn't have a lineup there. Alright. Anyway, that's the stuff coming up immediately on this weekend. And Facebook. Okay. Wileen. So I did just see that next Tuesday at 11 a.m., probably at the state capitol, is going to be the the press conference for FanX. So I will be going to that. Let's see. Tonight we've got Stand Up for Improv, 7:30 to 9:30 p.m. And I believe that will be Improv Broadway in Provo. Ugh. Screw that noise. I mean, go if you want. I won't. If for no other reason than Provo. And 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Greg Orm at the Beehive. And that show is going to be featuring Sam Poulter and Jason Harvey, and hosted by Nicholas Don Smith. Shit, that's going to be a great show. I'm not familiar with Greg Orm because he showed up on the scene here during my my hiatus, or my sabbatical, whatever. Okay, so let's see here. Tomorrow, Saturday, January 19th, Lost Pages and Colton Smith at Kilby Court. Disturbed Evolution World Tour at the Vivint Smart Home Arena. Gabrielle Lysenko headlining Ice House. And I don't know what that is. Okay. Sunday, January 20th. Winter Rec at Kilby Court. Watchtower Comedy Open Mic. Total Lunar Eclipse. That sounds like fun. So, yep, we've got an open mic at the Watchtower Cafe again. So if you're in the area, go and check that out. That is going to be Sundays at 7. Yeah, 7. Not 7:30, 7. And yeah, I went last week. That was my first open mic in a very long time, and I missed it so bad, especially at the Watchtower. That is one of the best places for an open mic. Just one of the best places, period. Let's see here. Yeah, I'm going to be sad that I'm going to miss it. But I'm about to talk about that in just a moment. Slug Magazine presents Comedy Localized. So there's going to be a show at the Urban Lounge. That's going to be featuring Andy Farnsworth, Holly J, Joe Everard, Taurus Fairley. Hey, Taurus is going to be back in town. He's one of my most favorite people. He's such a cool guy. So yeah, that gets us through the Facebook stuff for the next week. Alright, so this Sunday we are going to be doing our booster draft and review for Ravnica Allegiance. That set comes out on the 25th, which is a week from today. And yeah, I've got a pretty good group of people from work who are interested in playing some Magic the Gathering. And I'm excited. I can't wait. It's going to be so much fun. So, yeah, I'm still figuring out exactly what we're going to do with that. content-wise, probably stream on Twitch that day. And then, at the very least, I'm going to use the audio of our reviews for the podcast. And ideally put up some video of our games, either on Twitch or the website, YouTube, whatever. I'll figure that out. Probably on Monday. Shit, this next week is going to be super busy. Yeah, because I got a company holiday party a week from tomorrow. And then, like I said, I want to go see Ben Bailey that Friday. And then I've got poker this Saturday. Our booster draft review Sunday. Work on Monday. Press conference on Tuesday. Shit. But we do have some new game episodes that will start running next week, which I need to fucking edit next Wednesday or Tuesday. God damn. This is fun having things to do, but not great being as super fucking lazy as I am. I've got to get shit done. Anyway, see all the regular stuff. CommieShedRadio.com is the website. And if you feel like throwing some money at us, that would be appreciated. There is a Patreon now, which is patreon.com/ComedyShedRadio. Pretty sure that's what I made it. At any rate, there is a link in the show notes, so feel free to throw a little bit of money our way. I'm still working out how to do some things on there, but at the very least, if you start donating $1, we can start working in your name or a loved one's name into our game as characters or NPCs, whatever. We'll figure it out. And so I set that up as a $1 tier thing. There's also a $3 tier thing where whenever we do our booster drafts and reviews, we'll raffle off some cards that we played with in those games. So if you get into the $3 group, then we'll just keep your name in there. And then every, 3 months? I think it's 3 months. When they release a new set, we'll raffle those off. And like I said, I've got a pretty good group that I'm planning on coming, so we should have a handful of cards to raffle off. And we'll probably just raffle off one card, or 1 or 2 cards, I don't know. We'll see. And each time. So, whatever cards we don't raffle off, we'll just carry over to the next one, or maybe we'll just raffle them all off. I don't know. I'm very sleepy, and I need to get this shit done. Because, again, it's 2 o'clock in the goddamn morning, and I haven't finished a goddamn thing. So, Facebook and Twitter, Redstone Diaries, the Commie Shed Radio hotline, 801-900-3154. And, watch out on the Twitter or the Periscope stuff. I don't know. Alright. This is getting to be kind of painful now, so I'm going to go. Enjoy the show, and have a good week.
Okay, sweet. So yeah, we're both coming through perfect on there. So yeah.
Awesome. Sounds good.
Alright, so is there anything on your mind you want to talk about at all, or?
I mean, not really. I'm just gonna let you take control over this here and see what we can do here.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, like I was saying, we normally play role-playing games, and what I do is I will record an intro every week and just kind of throw that in on top, and that's where I talk about mostly like nerd and entertainment news and shit like that. So yeah,
All right.
yeah,
Yeah, I think I can keep up with that.
cool. And I don't think I had anything in mind really. So
Just a total like spur of the moment episode.
yeah, pretty much just so that I have something to put out other than just me bitching about Utah drivers and talking about nerds. They need to cut out their bullshit and just enjoy movies. So yeah.
Oh god, I know it, man. It's fucking crazy. Shit ruined my experiences after going to see Infinity War. I'm like, people are too fucking into that movie.
Well, I love that movie so much, and you know.
Well, I loved it. I loved it too, but it's like when you're sitting in a room with 200 other people, and then like it's just collective screamings when like Black Panther starts to die, and like the massive like overreactions that came from it. I was like, okay, well, just relax.
See, that shit I kind of enjoy. What I hate is, all the nerds who just bitch and whine, like, this isn't right, and they shouldn't be doing this, and that's not how the character works, and it's not like the comics. That's what pisses me off. Is just these... I don't know what it is, if it's just ignorance or absurd entitlement, but these morons need to just shut the fuck up and enjoy the movie, and just move on with their lives.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Like I'm like, if you're a big diehard fan of the stuff, I'm all for it. It's just like when I see people like get up and walk out of the theater, just like stormed off pissed after certain people pass off. And it's like you spent 2 hours watching that movie. You're telling me you can't wait another 10 minutes to see the rest of it? And,
yeah.
well, what can you do?
No, I don't know. Although I heard that a lot of people have been walking out of the Sherlock Holmes with Will Ferrell.
I heard that too today, and I'm so bummed by that because like the trailer looks fucking hysterical, man. I really want to go see it, and I hate paying to go see movies, and that's one that I really wanted to go and see.
See, I'm not a huge fan of either of them comedically, and I just wasn't interested seeing that trailer at all. But
I can respect that. I mean, it's not a humor that's for everybody, but like I've been a big fan of Will Ferrell since like way back in SNL, and John C. Reilly has like really evolved himself as an actor over the years, and those two together I always thought made a good comedy duo. I would really love to see those two in a straight up horror film. I think that would be some funny shit.
That actually would be kind of funny to. Well, I mean,
yeah, like you get those two in like a legitimate haunted house type movie and shit.
Yeah, because John C. Reilly did that vampire movie some time back, right? Was
oh god, yeah, but I didn't consider that like Netflix advertised it to me as a horror movie, and it felt more like a family film to me.
Yeah, that's kind of what I figured. But
yeah,
I think I would have been more interested in a Sherlock Holmes movie with Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly if they played it straight and did something interesting with it. And
that would have been interesting because, like, I mean, Will Ferrell's branched out and tried to do some serious stuff before, like that Everything Must Go movie. And I mean, that was pretty decent. But I mean, they are getting really old. So like when at a certain point, like that level of like campy, weird comedy it's only gonna get you so far.
Yeah, and like the one thing that I really knew John C. Reilly from was The Perfect Storm, which it was a drama, and he did a fantastic job in that. So, yeah.
Oh yeah, like I was real young when that movie came out, but I fell in love with it. Like, I loved the character that he did, and I didn't know who he was until like Step Brothers, and I recognized him, and that's when I was like, oh shit, and that's the guy from the fucking Perfect Storm, and
yeah, that's how I've always seen him, and like I said, I seem to enjoy his more dramatic stuff better than his comedy, but yeah, I don't know, that Sherlock Holmes did not look interesting to me at all, and then hearing everyone walking out of it, So
I mean, I love a good bad movie, so I'll see it, but I don't think I'll go to pay and see it. I think I'll just wait for like it to come out on my Fire Stick or something.
right. And if you want a really good, just shit movie to watch, it was like 1976. It's called Deathbed, The Bed That Eats.
Oh my god, I love Deathbed.
Seriously? Oh.
Yeah, dude, that's my fucking shit right there, man.
Yeah, I've got it somewhere on a hard drive, and I haven't watched it in a while. And I've been thinking about picking it up again, but god damn. Oh.
That's some obscure shit for you to pull up, dude. Like I give you credit right there, man.
I can't even remember how I found it. I think my friend Sam pointed me to it. But yeah, like I first watched that movie like 10 years ago, and wow, the acting is awful. And oh,
like the storyline is bad. Like the whole reason for the bed being is just like so fucking stupid. But somehow it works, and it's just fucking it's genius how terrible that movie is.
Oh, I know. And the thing that always gets me is when it's eating, it makes the crunching sound, no matter what it's eating. Like you could throw like a wilted salad in there, and it'll just be crunch, 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 and it's wow.
Oh my god. I mean, I feel like after this is over, I might end up looking that thing up on my hard drive and watching it again.
Yeah, like that's one of those things that just pops into my conscious thought every few months, and just for no reason at all, I just remind myself, "Holy shit, that sucked," and I should probably watch it again.
That's like killer condom levels of bad right there.
Oh wow, yeah. Oh, and I swear there was another like really good just shit movie, but I can't think of it now. Like that's always my go-to.
There's always so many, man.
Oh yeah. And I wish that more of them would just try and be shitty on purpose. Oh, fuck. Birdemic. Did you ever watch that?
Birdemic? No, I can't say I have.
Oh, wow. Because my friend Dave introduced me to that, and then a couple months after that, he texted me and he's like, "Hey, you remember that shitty Birdemic movie?" I was like, "Yes." Riff Tracks is doing a live event, and I got us tickets. I was like,
"Oh
sweet.
Man, Riff Tracks."
Yeah. Oh, that movie. It's just so bad.
How is going to see Riff Tracks live?
Oh, I love it so much. Yeah, me and a few of my friends have gone to a few of their like big Fathom events or whatever, and yeah, I mean it's like watching MST3K, but they're there making fun of it, and
right.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a good way to watch.
Have you seen the reboot of Mystery Science Theater?
I've been meaning to, and I haven't gotten to it yet because I fall into this habit of like rewatching old things that I've always enjoyed, and I'm so far behind on all of the newer stuff. So.
Oh, I've been doing the same thing. Like, I found out that Jordan Peele is going to be bringing back the Twilight Zone. So I've been going back through like that whole series from like the '60s through the '80s stuff, and
nice.
But yeah, but fuck, what show was I just talking about? My dumbass.
Mystery Science Theater.
Mystery Science. I mean, I smoked a fat bowl before I started this shit. My bad.
Nice. No worries.
Yeah, but man, Mystery Science. I mean, the new shit's pretty solid for what it is. I mean, I feel like they went a little too overboard as far as the like mini skits in between the movie. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
But it's like Patton Oswalt's a big part in it, which is cool. And the main guy, Jonah Ray, is pretty funny. But I mean, nothing's ever going to be as good as it was, you know. But I mean, it's still fun to watch some shitty movies and laugh at it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I should probably start on that soon. Yeah, the last few days I've been watching a lot of Aaron Sorkin stuff because yeah,
a fucking Hercules.
No, I don't think so. No,
that's not no. That's not him, is it?
I'm not sure. Like, I'm more familiar with the TV series he's created than I am with movies he's written on. But yeah, I was watching Sports Night in the newsroom, and I'm watching The West Wing right now. And yeah,
I was thinking Kevin Sorbo.
Oh no, I should watch that too, though. I haven't watched that forever.
That's some deliciously bad television, right?
Oh, seriously.
Yeah, it came up with like one of my favorite, like, I guess it's like a little clip of a video where he's just sitting there. He's like, "Wait a minute, this isn't my world." And then he looks up and he screams, "Just disappointed!" It's like, way to emote like what you're saying, what you're feeling, dude.
No, yeah, I used to watch that show and Xena all the time when I was younger, like when it was originally running.
Man, I haven't seen Xena in a minute. Yep.
Yeah, one thing I really liked was I think it was called like the Adventures of Young Hercules or something along those lines.
I never saw that show.
Yeah, I mean, it was far more lame because it was almost like a Saturday morning series, and they'd run it on in the afternoons with the cartoons and that. But I want to say that was Ryan Gosling as as young Hercules. I'm gonna look that up right now because
to Google.
Yeah, because I remember seeing something on like Facebook or Twitter, sometime in the last couple years where they had mentioned that. And
yeah, you're right. It's Ryan Gosling.
Yeah. Before he was super dreamy, he was just, moderately teenage dreamy. So,
he upgraded.
I guess. I don't know. I've never been any kind of dreamy, so I presume it's something you grow into.
I guess, man. I'm like this fugly, frumpy motherfucker, so I'm right there with you. Oh, shit.
That's always been one of my go-to moves is whenever someone is complaining about something, I always say, well, at least you don't look like this. And then I wave my hand around my face to emphasize that they're not homely. So, yeah, self-deprecation has always been my default.
Oh, it's a good go-to, man.
Yep. It's something I learned from my mother. Apparently, she hated me a lot, too. So.
Oh, shit.
That's all right. She's dead now. So. Well,
that got dark.
Oh, that's my default. That's what I do. I make everything dark.
I'm with it.
Yeah, that's a lot of. I've been doing stand-up for, well, not consistently the last couple of years, but I'm gonna get back into it now. But yeah, that's one of those things that I've always enjoyed so much is when I'm talking to people I don't know, and I say that my mother was a cunt, and it's just a very special, palpable, and comfortable that they get that sustains me indefinitely. So,
hey, dude, I'm right there with you. I don't know if you know the phrase, but I live in a constant state of Schadenfreude.
Oh yeah, it's fun.
Yeah. So I love even like slight miseries in other people. I just even like making somebody a little bit uncomfortable in a conversation, like that, just that little bit like you did right there with me and your dead mom and shit.
Yeah.
Like I totally get where you're coming from on it. It's genius. Well done, sir. I tip my proverbial hat to you.
Well, thank you. But yeah, I think that's one of those things that's just innate in human nature that most humans refuse to accept. But they will still laugh at the Three Stooges beating the shit out of each other. And that's exactly the same thing.
If somebody falls down in front of them, of course they're going to smirk a little bit.
How could you not?
It's
always funny.
Like the little joys in life, like when that asshole cuts you off and then you see him getting pulled over down the road or something. Or even better if he flips into a fucking ditch.
Yeah, I would love that, but I don't see that anywhere near often enough. Like, the shitty driving in Utah is such that everyone seems to be on the same wavelength of ignorant that they manage to sync up their bullshit somehow. And
how is it being surrounded by the Mormons like that?
Well, it wouldn't be as bad if they would just mind their own business and stay out of politics. So, yeah. Like, that's one of those things. I was born and raised LDS, or Latter-day Saint, Mormon, however you wish to view that. But I was born and raised in Los Angeles also, which is very different from Utah. For example.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah, and one of my most recent outrages is there was an election this last month in November, and on the ballot in Utah was Proposition 2, which was a medical marijuana thing. And it passed, I believe, with like 53% of the vote. And then the next day, there's a new coalition formed that, quote, invited the representatives of the LDS Church, wherein it was actually originated by the leadership of the LDS Church, where they started dismantling Proposition 2 and changing it to their benefit after it had been voted on and passed.
Whatever happened to like a separation of church and state?
Yeah, that doesn't exist here.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's one of the things I have been most furious about since I've moved here, and one of the biggest reasons that I will most likely never go back to church. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's some shit, man. I don't know, man. Like I don't know how comfortable you are with me saying shit. Like I think that the Church of Mormonism is a fucking cult. Like personally, it's got a weird sort of mentality to it with people, and not necessarily bad. Like I've never really met a Mormon with an attitude, Yeah. But it's just no one could be that happy.
Well, the thing is that all churches are cults. The only difference is how much they're accepted among the population.
Oh yeah, well I mean I say the same thing about Christianity and Scientology and like so like I ain't trying to. I hope I didn't offend you with shit like that, man.
No, I get it. Trust me. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like religion, by its nature, is a cult. The only difference is that there are people who will call it a church instead of a cult, whereas they call other things cults instead of churches. And it's
absolutely. I see it being no different than Heaven's Gate or Jonestown or anything like that. It all preaches the same message. Like some people just take it a little more extreme than others.
Yeah, and I can't remember who it was now, but there was a fantastic stand-up comedian who made a joke about that, where like two people discussing their religions is basically just having an argument about whose imaginary friend is better. And I think it may have been Marin. Like I can hear Mark Maron saying that, but I can't remember.
Yeah, I could totally hear that shit. But I mean, it's true. It's like it is. It just people fucking. It's the same shit that people are. I don't know. I got no fucking idea. I don't normally talk religion.
Yeah.
I don't know how I got off on that shit.
No, because I live in Utah and it's kind of a big thing around here.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and it just this whole Prop 2 thing just pisses me off to no end, because if it was another special interest group that had tried like if tobacco had tried dismantling or reconstructing legislature about banning smoking everywhere, let's say, then all the churches would be like, oh, you can't do that, that's not right. But no, it's okay when they do it to deny health care to people who can't afford the current treatments that the churches are profiting from. So yeah that's fucking ridiculous. Are you do you smoke or? Yeah. As long as no local law enforcement can find me. Yeah. There you go. Yeah, because, again, I'm a comedian, so I'm around people who, let's say, imbibe in certain substances. But the thing is that most of those substances just don't work on me because of, mostly my depression. It has granted me many superpowers over the years, and heightened metabolism seems to be one of them. So I don't get drunk, really. Most other drugs I've tried just have no effect on me. And, yeah.
But that's not necessarily a bad thing, you know. Like, I mean, if one thing like weed works for you and something else like alcohol and everything else doesn't. I mean, it's not the worst thing that ever happened, you know. I mean, I don't know. I've never been a big fan of drinking, and I've had my fun with like psychedelics and shit in the past, but they never really stuck with me all that well. So I'm glad there's no sort of dependence towards anything.
Yeah.
Except for the weed, but you know what can you do about that?
And
that's not bad at all.
Yeah, and that's the thing is I don't smoke often, but when I do, it's usually just so I can sleep, because I've had insomnia for so many decades now, and yeah, like typically I sleep between 3 and 6 hours a day, and if I smoke a little bit before I go to bed, then I could sleep maybe 8. So.
Oh man, you and I are on the same page there. I can't remember the last time I actually got a legitimate 8 hours of sleep. I usually go to bed around like 11:30, and I'll wake up about 4 o'clock or so to get ready for work.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be great not sleeping so much if I could just get off my ass and get something done. But yeah, that's my big problem. Is I've noticed that whenever I'm in my apartment at home, I just sit and watch TV the whole time and get nothing done. But
well, what would you do if you can get something done?
Well, I like to draw a lot. I've done all of the art for the podcast here, and I need to write more because I haven't written any new jokes for a while, and I've got the website, and I try to write on there at least once a week. I'm trying to be more consistent with that too, and yeah, and I have other podcast ideas that I would like to start doing and just haven't. So,
well, maybe it's just getting out of the house for a little bit and clearing the head up.
Yeah, that's usually what I'll do. And that's the thing; it's just so fucking hard on like days off where I don't have to be someplace. I don't.
I hear you, man. Like I could sit here and talk a big game about it, but at the end of the day, like if I get a day off, like 9 times out of 10, I really just want to lay in bed and do fucking nothing.
And that's my thing too. Is I personally, I really like having my days off together, because that first day off, I just do nothing. I mean, even money. I even shower that day. I just lay around watching TV the whole time. And I've become somewhat more responsible in the last like 7 or 8 months, because I actually have food on hand, so I don't even really need to leave my apartment to eat anymore. So.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, that's been weird. Still getting used to that.
Well, like actually cooking food?
Yeah, or just, I mean, like I got a bunch of microwavable shit, because.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, because sometime back, like I said, 7 or 8 months ago, at Costco, they had a coupon on a chest freezer. So it'd normally be like $150, and I bought it at like $120, which not great, but still a really good price for a chest freezer.
Still cheaper.
Yeah, and then the next day I filled it up with dino nuggets and corn dogs. And then, that night, my teeth started falling apart. So, yeah, I'm not exaggerating either. Like, I was.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it was a Sunday night, and it was like 2:00 in the morning, and I was trying to get to sleep before work the next day, and I just felt this weird thing in my mouth, and then I noticed that a piece of my tooth came off. So, that was a rough day. But
it's such a weird feeling, isn't it? After like a section of your tooth falls out, and then your tongue just spends the whole day fucking with it.
Seriously. And I got super lucky that day too, because I walked into work, and I was talking to my supervisor. I was like, hey man, my face is falling apart. Is it cool if I get out of here early to try and find a doctor? And he's like, dude, you can't usually like call a dentist day of and get in there. It's like, I get that, but I need to figure out something. And the first name I called that I got from one of my friends at work, I was talking with the receptionist, and I was explaining the situation, and she stops for a second. I was like, I'm going to put you on hold for a moment. So then she put me on hold. She comes back. Is like, so this is kind of odd. We had a cancellation at 2:15. If you can get over here, then we can see you. And at that point, it was 1:55, and I hauled ass all the way across town, which, again, with these shitty drivers, is no simple feat. But yeah, I managed to start getting work done, and again, it's weird because the job that I have right now is the best job I've had so far. Mostly because they compensate me as though I'm an adult who lives in a first world country and has bills to pay. And I've got pretty good insurance.
That's a pretty rare thing right there.
Yeah, tell me about it. Because I used to work for Walmart, and fuck, that's ass.
I heard they treat their employees awful.
Yeah, and it was getting worse when I left. Because I left there a little more than 3 years ago. Yeah, almost 3.5 years. And when I left there, I had been there for about 4 years, and I had a promotion. And I walked out the door there, walked into the door at my current job, and interviewed and got the job almost immediately, making almost $1 more an hour starting.
Oh, there you go.
And when that happened, it was after Walmart did their sweeping cost of living increase, and before my current job did their sweeping cost of living increase. So, yeah. So frustrating.
Yeah, I can't do the line of work you do. Like I've tried working in that sort of customer service shit, and I'm not a big people person. I have what they call a little bit of an attitude issue when it comes to stupid people.
I hear
I've lost plenty of jobs because of it. So that's why I'm glad. What I do now, I work in a metal shop, just making duct work for HVAC companies to put up in the McDonald's and industrial places and shit.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's just me and one other person, and we can listen to Primus or some weird ass music and fucking just bend metal, and then I go home and call it a fucking day. Don't deal with people's bullshit.
Yeah, that's cool.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I feel as though my sense of humor especially has been somewhat neutered by, a decade and a half of working in retail and customer service and all that. But
I don't know if it would necessarily. I mean, I would use that as fuel, man. Take that hatred for those people and use it in some sort of way for dark comedy.
No, yeah, I do. It's just that I'm not as quick as I used to be. Because when I was younger, in my early 20s and that, if someone was pissing me off, I would talk shit to their face. And yeah, I've said things to my managers and supervisors and such that could have gotten me fired, and I managed to walk it back fast enough. But yeah, it's just there are things that I want to say to these animals in the moment, and I can't because I need to not lose my job. So,
I was going to say that might just be the older, more wiser you that realizes there's certain people you can mouth off to and certain people you probably shouldn't in that moment.
Well, I should be that wise by now, but I've still fucked up a few times. So, yeah.
Hey, we're all human, so fuck it.
Yeah. I don't like to think of myself as human, but just because I've seen how shitty humans are, and I prefer to be better.
Okay, so what would you consider yourself to be?
Just better than human.
Okay, I like it. I'm all for it.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I've developed some light grade of superpowers, because, yeah, I mean, I don't exercise because that's bullshit. I just keep physical jobs. And, yeah, I don't exercise. I still eat like shit. And I'm not as fat as I should be. So.
Is that a bad thing, though?
No, that's what I'm saying. It's just, without trying, I'm better than human already. But, spending every waking moment making sure that I'm smarter than everyone else around me, that's fun too.
Oh yeah, you always got to keep the one up on people.
Yeah, the only problem is that they're usually too dumb to recognize it. So.
Yeah, God, tell me about it. So you say that these are like superpowers that you have. So if you were to give yourself like a superhero identity, what would you call yourself?
I hadn't really thought about that. And that's one of those things because I read a lot of comics and watch cartoons and that, and like it's kind of an outdated notion for a character to kind of give themselves a super name. And yeah, I'm just kind of like.
I guess that's true. That's kind of like how serial killers they never get the names that they want to choose themselves to be called.
Yeah, exactly. It's one of the things you just can't give yourself a nickname. Otherwise you just become that loser who gave yourself a
gives
nickname.
himself a nickname. All right, I can respect that. Fair enough. I won't let you fall into that trap.
Yeah. But I do like to consider myself the consequences to everyone else's, actions or inactions as it is. So, yeah, because I've thought a lot about vigilanteing, especially in recent years, where the law doesn't seem to mean anything anymore. So,
like taking a serious attempt at doing it.
Oh yeah. I mean, I may or may not have purchased a sword at the last Salt Lake Comic Convention. So.
Oh snap! Okay, well, I was going to ask how you were going to go about doing this. Like, do you have like a costume design set up or like?
Well, that's one of those things. I've always been more into the function rather than the form. So.
Okay.
Just classic.
So
black.
You're not the vigilante that's going to go in there with like some quick quips on people and shit. You're just going to go in, kick some ass, and get out.
Well, if there's a moment to have a conversation, then yeah, I would, just tear them a new asshole before I tore them a new asshole. And then, yeah, it just depends. And again, that's the problem. Like around here in particular, a lot of people just are not that smart. They wouldn't understand it. And I've noticed that with my advanced years, that many of my references are not so easily understood by the younger generations.
So. Oh yeah, I hear you. I've thrown out some obscure references, and people are just like, "What?" like even stuff that I thought was like relatively known in like the obscure nerddom. Like if I throw out a "They Live" reference every now and again, people just be like, "What the fuck?" Yeah, and I'm like, "No, you just put the glasses on, damn it."
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that myself because I've never been like super into horror movies.
I never really considered it a horror movie. Like it's like Roddy Piper. I can't remember his name. Like the wrestler though. He's in this like dystopian future, and he comes across these glasses that like when he puts them on, he notices that like all the marketing all the things in marketing and all these big businesses are run by these like weird looking fucking aliens with like melted human faces and shit. And he's trying to get this friend to like see, so he's trying to get him to put the glasses on so he can like kick ass and chew bubblegum and shit. But it's a great movie, but it's like super fucking random. I thought more people knew. It's like The Room. Before the Disaster Artist came out, it's like how many people did you know that actually knew about The Room?
I think I may have heard of it, but
you've never seen The Room?
No.
Oh man, well you're not missing anything. I mean, it's a horrible movie. Like they're not lying when they say it's like the worst film ever made. But like if you're really into watching a bad movie, then you're not going to be disappointed at all.
Yeah, I've been meaning to check it out for that reason, and I never think about it when I'm sitting around doing nothing.
I mean, like it's a movie that's so bad, even the sex scenes are unwatchable. Like that's how fucking rough this shit is. Like, but I mean, it's got a little bit of genius to it with how bad it is, and the fact that he tried to make that movie as a serious movie and just got made fun of so bad for it that he's like, no, I did that on purpose. It's fucking great.
Yeah, I've been meaning to check that out. I really should. Because, again, that's what I've heard, is that it was just because it's objectively the worst film ever created, isn't it?
Oh yeah, like it's been deemed that by so many people, and with good reason too. Like it's justifiably bad. There isn't a redeeming quality to it, but it's fucking brilliant in that sense.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I know I've heard of They Live. I was thinking it was a zombie movie, and I just never.
I mean, they look like zombies, but I've always understood them to be more like alien creatures and shit. But I mean, it's a very confusing film.
Yeah.
Totally not something that's for everybody.
Right. Yeah, because my big thing is that when I was a child, I grew up with things like Alfred Hitchcock Presents, and I had watched some Twilight Zone and Outer Limits and that. So I was used to like actual suspense thrillers. And then, the last like 20 or 30 years, all this horror shit has just been like gore and violence and pseudo-sex and all that. And it just never really appealed to me, so I never bothered so much.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you there. Like I've been noticing that there isn't really so much. Like, I love horror movies, but the increase in like jump scares and cheesy effects has gone up versus like actual terrifying like elements to movies, and the gore has just been ramped up to an unrealistic like standard in this day and age. It's at certain points it's just like, okay, I get it. There's a shit ton of fucking blood and like limbs, but it doesn't really work to the storyline. It's hard to find a good solid horror film.
Well, I've always said this, the scariest movie I've ever watched is, and will most likely always be, Idiocracy. Because
it's real.
I know. That's the most horrifying thing about it now, is that 10 years ago, it was just kind of a silly, what if. But now, we're living it. And it's...
see. Well, I first watched that movie like 10 years ago, and everyone laughed at it. But I'm like, I don't know what's so funny. Like, this is what's gonna happen. Like, Mike Judge is calling the future.
I know. I'm starting to think that he might legitimately be a time traveler now, trying to save us, and it's not working because everyone's too dumb to keep up. So.
And he did it the only way that he felt dumb people would understand it, through a comedy movie, and they still didn't fucking get it.
I know, and I'm not saying that everyone should be ashamed of everything all the time, but
oh god, no,
everyone needs to be ashamed of how dumb they are. It's just gone way too far now.
I mean, I swear to God, we're like 5 years away from, well, it's got electrolytes. It's got what plants crave.
Yeah.
Water? You mean like from the toilet?
I haven't watched that movie for a while. Because, again, it scared me so thoroughly. And I'm not easily scared because I've been through some shit in my day. But, wow. It scares me.
It's not very often that you hear like, oh yeah, the scariest movie that I've ever seen was a comedy. But I mean, if you take a look at it from a serious standpoint, it pretty much is a horrifying look at the future.
Yeah, and like I said, we're living it now. Like, it was bad enough 10 years ago, but things have gotten worse since then. And just they're so dumb, so dumb. All right. Well, do you have anything you want to plug on here?
Yeah. I mean, if I get the chance to, Yeah, when you guys finish checking this out, be sure to listen to us over at Sac'em Up Sundays. Follow me at Twitter at Sac'em Up Sundays. We're everywhere. iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Castbox, Podbean, fucking anywhere you think of, we're there. I've got a bad tattoo contest for the show that I'm working on, where I'm looking for bad tattoo submissions. And the winner of that contest will get their artwork will get done on my body, and they'll also get a lifetime supply of free merch from the show. So I'm looking for tons of submissions for that. That ends March 1st, actually. So people need to get that shit in as soon as possible, and they can send it to me over at Twitter.